Good morning, everyone. It's Pam from the Soul Long Beach Yoga Festival, bringing you a little bit of yoga on Zoom. Nobody is here yet, but I am recording this yoga session, so find a comfortable seat if you are joining me in the recording, and hopefully you can hear me and you'll be able to see me during the course of this yoga class. We are going to start in probably about 5 minutes, but find a comfortable seat. I have a yoga blanket. I also have a yoga block. We're going to do probably one balancing sequence that I can think of right now. And so just find a comfortable seat, use props to assist you in being able to feel comfortable, to be able to feel, that you're supported in your body, and maybe sit cross-legged or in whatever position feels good to you. And just start to get ready. Good morning. Hi, good morning.
How are you, my dear friend?
I'm doing great. You look so beautiful.
Sade with me too.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I do not know how to set up a laptop for this thing, so I don't know if it's right or not, but here we go.
You know what? I have never done a Zoom yoga. I've never guided a class on Zoom before, so we're all doing this for the very first time. So thank you, ladies, for being part of this experiment.
Yes, I'm
excited. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your bravery.
Oh, I'm excited.
Virtual space.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna give it about 5 minutes. Give people a chance to log in and get ready, and just find yourself a comfortable seat. I was just kind of saying that I've got my yoga blanket, but you could use a pillow. I have my little yoga block, but you're free to use maybe like a book or anything. We're gonna do maybe a balancing sequence today, so it's just we're gonna all try it, because there's times where I wobble. Definitely, balance is not my strongest suit when it comes to yoga. So just in waiting for our other participants, it may just be us, but just find a comfortable seat. Whether it's cross-legged, maybe you'd like to have your legs directly out in front of you, but whatever your comfortable seat looks like, just find it. Maybe close your eyes or maybe just kind of relax your gaze, relax your shoulders. Let your spine be nice and tall because we want that energy to be able to flow very freely through those chakras. We have a root chakra at our tailbone, and then we've got our crown chakra at the very top of our head. So when you slump over, you interrupt that flow. So we want that nice flow between the root all the way up to the crown of our head so we can get the benefit of that energy. That helps to build our energy reserves. So during the course of your day, if you start to feel depleted, check your posture, because that's the first thing that I look at is like, how am I standing? How am I sitting? If I'm slumping over, I'm interrupting that energy exchange. So just bring those shoulders back and down. Nice tall spine. Start to just feel what your body feels like today. Sometimes we wake up, we feel tired. Maybe we didn't get the best restful sleep. But just kind of check in with yourself, check in with your body. Are there areas of tightness or tension? And once you've done that little check-in with your body, then just find your breath. What's your breath feel like this morning? Sometimes I get up in the morning, I'm rushing, I'm going to work and getting prepared for the day, and I find myself, I'm not even breathing. Like I'm not even doing that exchange of inhaling and exhaling. I'm doing maybe a lot of inhaling, but not releasing that breath. So just take a moment just to find your breath, and then maybe do intentional breathing. And what I mean by intentional breathing is that when you breathe in, you allow yourself to visualize your chest rising and opening up. And then when you exhale and you're releasing that breath, you're releasing it fully. So you're drawing your navel all the way back to the spine so you can have that full release of breath. And what we're doing actually is we're detoxing. When we inhale, we're taking in fresh, clean, vibrant breath. And then when we exhale, what we're doing is we're letting all that go. Anything that is within you that no longer serves you in a positive way, you're releasing that, you're getting rid of that. And it's not just toxic energy that we're talking about. We're talking about all toxins that we take in on a daily basis that we just find in our environment. So what we're doing is we're taking in fresh air, clean air, positive energy. And then on that exhale, when we fully exhale and draw that navel back toward the spine, we're doing a full and complete release of anything that no longer serves us in a positive way. During my yoga practice, as I start, I like to maybe set an intention for myself. And this is completely optional. It's not something that you have to do, but during our practice, it's a perfect opportunity to kind of dive deep into ourselves, who we are, what we want. Yoga is said to be a self-study on the mat. So we come to our mat kind of like our teacher. And as we do the poses and we engage in the repetition of yoga, you start to be able to tap into yourself, how you're feeling, what it is that you want. A lot of some of my better decisions, some of my better creative decisions have come after a yoga practice. So take a moment just to set that intention. And maybe bring your mind back to it during the course of your practice. So we're going to go ahead, ladies, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, like I said, this class is recorded, so at any time you want to go back to it, it's going to be available for you to do that. So get into that comfortable position, whatever that may be. Place your hands somewhere where it's comfortable. It could be on your knees. Relax those shoulders down. Spine is nice and tall. We're going to take a nice inhale breath in, and we're going to take our gaze up to the ceiling. As we exhale, we're going to draw our chin to our chest. Inhale, taking that gaze upward, taking it skyward. And then on the exhale, drawing the chin to the chest. And just take a few more of these. This is going to be your own breath cycle. So you move with your breath. Your breath cycle may be faster, it may be slower, but I just offer to you to just soak in just each movement and how good it feels in your body to stretch and to move that energy to your other places in your body that may need it. Come back to center position, and we're going to do some very simple neck rolls. So we're just going to take our head, you choose whatever side, and just roll the head around. You might want to connect your breath. So as you inhale, chin comes down to the chest, and as you exhale, the head comes back and around. And just make note of how your neck feels. Sometimes we do this and we start to feel maybe a little tightness or soreness in the neck. Oftentimes it has to do with the way that we sit or the way that we stand. Take a pause, take an inhale breath in, and on that exhale, take it in the opposite direction. And then as you take it in this new direction, maybe feel any kind of differences that you feel in this side that possibly you didn't feel in the other side. In yoga, you find that whatever we do on one side, we want to do it on the opposite side. We want to achieve balance on the mat so that we can take that self-study off of the mat. Come back to center. And what we're going to do is we're going to take an inhale breath, and we're going to lift those hands up overhead. Stretch and extend your fingertips. Try to bring your biceps as close to your ears as you can. And just let that energy coming up through the shoulders into the fingertips, just allow that to happen. Bring your left hand in front of you, bring your right hand behind you, and just take that gaze over your right shoulder. Don't worry about how far the gaze is, you're okay. Take an inhale breath, come back to the center. Bring those hands up overhead. We're going to do the opposite side. Right hand comes in front of you, left hand behind you. And then take that gaze over that left shoulder. You just want to feel that nice stretch. Again, like I said, don't worry about how far back you can turn. That's not as important as the stretch itself. Bring those hands back to center. And we're just going to do a little bit of a flow here. So we're going to inhale, open up to the right. And then exhale, come back to center. Bring those hands up overhead. Inhale, right hand comes in front of you. Take that gaze over the left. Exhale, come back to center. This time, inhale. Left hand in front, right hand behind. Drop that right hand down behind you. Bring that left hand just nice and soft on that right knee. And then just take that gaze over the right shoulder. Try to bring your right arm as close to your body as you can. That's giving you a little bit of stability, giving you that support so that you can twist just a little bit deeper. Take an inhale breath in, draw that navel back toward the spine. Little bit of pressure from the left hand to the right knee, and just twist from the torso a little bit deeper. Take that inhale breath, come back to center. Bring those hands overhead again, get a nice stretch and extension. Then place that right palm on the left knee. Left arm comes behind you, as close to the body, as close to the spine as you can. Take an inhale breath first, just to relax your body. And then on that exhale, take that gaze over the left shoulder. Little bit of pressure on that left knee with the right palm. And we want to make sure that we're twisting from our center. Sometimes we just start to twist from our upper body, but we're really trying to work through that core, through that center. When we strengthen our core, we strengthen our motivation, we strengthen our willpower, we strengthen our creativity. So that's an area that we really want to work on and enhance. Take an inhale breath again, drawing that navel back toward the spine. Little pressure to that left knee and twist, maybe just a little bit deeper. Take an inhale breath, come back to center, bring those hands overhead again. And then we're gonna take the hands behind us, interlace those fingers. If your body, if it's available to you, let your thumbs, the side of your thumbs rest on the ground behind you. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Open up that heart center and take your head back. And just breathe. Allow yourself to just ease into that stretch. And then release. Bring your hands back to your knees. And we're just going to do some simple body circles. We're doing this just to kind of engage the core, but also to activate our core for other positions that we're going to take during the course of our class. So yogi's choice. You choose what direction feels good to you. Just start to do these circles. Now you're in control of the circles. They can be wide, they can be very small. It all depends on how your body feels. This is just loosening up that lower back. And again, like I said, activating that core center. Take a pause here, inhale in. And as you exhale, take it in the opposite direction. And just enjoy the flow. Close your eyes, just like a little kid on an amusement park ride. Just enjoy that flow, enjoy that ride. You know, sometimes we're so worried in life about how we look. You know, how we look to other people, what other people are going to think about us. Let that go just for the moment. And just enjoy how this feels. Come back to your center and let's bring those legs directly out in front of us. I talked a little bit about doing some core stuff, so we're gonna start with some early core activation. We wanna keep the spine nice and tall. We're gonna flex into our feet. We're gonna inhale those hands up overhead. And then we're gonna take a breath. And as we exhale, we're gonna reach forward, take a hold of whatever you can. Maybe the toes, maybe the sole of your feet. Just allow that nice lower back stretch. Take an inhale breath and lift the hands up. Again, sending that energy just to the center, to your core. Take an inhale breath. Bring those hands to your side and lean back. Find that sweet spot. Keep the gaze upward, flex into the feet. We want to work that part of the core. And of course, the further you lean back, the more you're going to feel it in that core center. Inhale, lift those hands overhead. Exhale, reach forward. We're going to flow through that a few times, ladies. Inhale, lift those hands up, drawing from the center. Exhale, hands come to the side. We lean back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lean back. Maybe a little further. Let's hold. Now breathe. Look up at that ceiling. If you're shaking, you're doing it right. Inhale, lift back up. So we're going to do one more. We're going to do what's called a progression. Now you can do exactly what we just did, or I'm going to show you another way that we can do it. So just watch, I'll demonstrate. Inhaling, coming forward. Exhaling, coming up. Inhaling, going all the way back. Hands overhead. Exhaling, coming up. Okay, so that's using a lot of that core strength. Digging those heels into your mat. That helps you to be able to have that stability. So you can do the one that we just did, or you can try this one. Yogi's choice. Take that inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, either come halfway or all the way down, hands overhead. Inhale, using the core, lift up, hands overhead. Dig those heels in. Exhale. One more, you guys. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, either take it halfway, all the way down, hands overhead. Inhale, come all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, reach for those feet and hold. Just take a few breaths here. Just allow the energy to settle. Feel that strength and activation in the core. Release the feet. We're gonna come on hands and knees, coming into tabletop position. And we wanna make sure that our shoulders are over our wrists. And we wanna make sure that our knees are directly below our hips. We're gonna inhale and we're gonna drop the belly down, lift that gaze upward. As we exhale, push into the mat, draw the tailbone down toward the mat, chin to chest. Inhale, dropping the belly, maybe a little bit deeper this time, gazing upward. Exhale, push into the mat, draw that chin to the chest. Now go ahead, take a few more on your own. This is really stretching into that lower back. And it's getting it prepared, the sacrum area prepared for the poses that we're gonna do during the course of our class. You can add to this, ladies. You can maybe do some body circles, just kind of circling the hips around. Make sure if you circle the hips that you do both directions. Again, we wanna achieve that balance on the mat as well as off. You might want to put a little bend in your elbows, take the hips back, kind of like a child's pose. Again, just stretching out the lower back, stretching through the thighs and the hips, just getting the body prepared for standing poses. Come back to tabletop, make sure you have your alignment. That gaze is going to be right there between your hands. Curl your toes, take an inhale breath. And just simply push into the mat, lift the knees. Keep that gaze right there between your hands. And just draw that navel back toward the spine. Take an inhale breath. As you exhale, push into the mat, lift the hips up. Draw the heels as close as you can to the mat. Maybe not as close as you can later in the class because we're just starting. Coming into our first downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal that dog out. When we walk our dog, we're just bending each knee, pushing into the ball of the opposite foot. For our down dog, we want to make sure palms are flat, fingers are wide. It's like a suction cup. And it's like you're pushing your body through your hands, like you're trying to kiss your knees. Although we know that that's not possible, but it's kind of like that kind of action. Take that gaze to the top of your space and start to walk toward the top of your mat. If you can keep your fingers connected to the mat, that's great. If not, it's okay. Let the crown of your head point down toward the mat. Open the feet up about mat width apart. Put a nice bend in the knees, even allowing your belly to rest on your thighs. You can just hang like this with the top of your head pointed down toward your space. Or if you want to add to this, grab opposite elbows. and just start to sway. Now, the reason why we let the top of our head point down toward the mat is we want to let the weight of our head do the stretching. We don't want to use our body, maybe cause injury. We want to use that weight of the head to stretch our body naturally. Here in this position, you can shake your head yes, shake your head no, release any kind of tension or anything that you might be feeling. Come to a pause, place those palms down to the mat, bring the feet so that they're under the hips. Place your hands on your hips and very slowly start to come up into a standing position. Awesome. Take an inhale, breath, lift those hands up overhead.
Dang girl, do that.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Take an inhale, breath, and bring those hands to heart. We're gonna do some mini sun salutations first, just to kind of loosen up, and then we'll add on as we go through it. So inhale those hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, which hands come to the thighs, or they can come to your shins. Keep the neck nice and long when we come to halfway lift. It's like you're looking over a cliff. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up, hands overhead, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. We do that again a couple more times, ladies. Inhale, hands come overhead. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root and rise. Bring those hands back overhead. Palms come together, hands to heart. Last one, inhale, raise those hands up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up and hands to heart. So we're gonna add on to that just very basic sun salutation. So inhale, hands come overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Walk your feet back into plank, making sure that we're just like a plank of wood. We're keeping the hips low and even with the back. Let's bring our knees down for our first plank of the day. We want to make sure that we keep those elbows as close to our body as we can. So we're gonna just start to bend those elbows back toward the back of our room and start to bring that chest to the mat nice and slow with as much control as you can muster. Keeping those hands nice and close to our rib cage. Neck is long. We're gonna inhale and just lift up the chest just a little bit for baby cobra. Let the tops of your feet provide you with support. Exhale, bring that chin to the mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. It's like a wave of energy, ladies. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last time, we're gonna inhale and lift. And then if you'd like a progression here, you can add by lifting those hands up. It's an unsupported cobra. Using the tops of our feet.
I can only see your feet now, Pam.
Oh, sorry. I'm still here.
I think you have to move back.
Move
Like
back?
into your closet. Climb into your closet.
Back to
There
the
you
closet.
go.
Oh, here. Here you go.
Now we got you. Yeah, we're following you verbally, but there we go.
Oh, no, I don't want you to have to do that.
Much better.
Take your cobra and lift those hands up for an unsupported version of the cobra. So we're just lifting the hands. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know that. Place those hands back to the mat. Curl your toes. We're gonna first push up into tabletop and then to downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal that dog out Sometimes we still need just a little bit of stretching here. It's a good place also to shake your head yes and shake your head no. Take that gaze to the top of your space and walk the feet up to the hands. Take an inhale breath halfway. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, root and rise. Bring those hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, hands come back overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Walk the feet out into plank. It could be full plank, or you can come back to the knees. Start to bend those elbows to the back of the room. Bring your chest to the mat, nice and slow. On that inhale breath, push into the palms, either baby cobra, or you might want to fully extend the arms, coming into an upward facing dog. Curl the toes, take an inhale breath, exhale, downward facing dog. We're gonna do one more full sun salutation, ladies. Gaze to the top of the mat and walk your feet up to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up. Bring those hands up overhead. Hands come to heart. Inhale, hands back overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Walk it out, ladies, back into plank. Take a breath first. Enjoy that plank. Enjoy the strength that you feel coming from your arms. Lower the chest down with control. And take that inhale breath into the back bend of your choice. As you inhale here, exhale, downward facing dog. Good job, ladies. How's everybody feeling? Feeling good?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. I love it. So we're going to do something that's called a ladder flow, like a ladder, climbing a ladder, which just means that we're going to take one move and then we're going to add on to it. So we're going to take that right foot and we're going to bring it to the top of our space in between our hands. And it's first coming into what's called a runner's lunge. Interlace your fingers, place them on your thigh, and just start to lift your chest. Nice and easy for this first one. So your left heel is going to be elevated. You're in a lunge. You want your hips to be facing forward. Take an inhale breath and just lift those hands overhead. Again, feeling that energy from shoulders all the way from up to the fingertips. Take an inhale breath as you exhale. Frame that right foot. Take the right foot back into plank. Take an inhale breath. Exhale. Lower the chest with control. And then inhale, push up, back bend of choice. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now at any time, ladies, you can eliminate that midsection where we go to plank and lower down to the mat. You can go directly to down dog or child's pose. Walk that left foot up in between the hands. Interlace those fingers. Place them on the left thigh and start to lift the chest up. When you feel that stability, lift those hands up overhead. As you inhale here, exhale. Frame that left foot. Let's bring that right foot up to meet the left. Inhale, lift it halfway. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, lift those hands up overhead. Bring those palms together. Exhale that energy down, hands to heart. Inhale, lift those hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Let's walk the feet back into downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here in your down dog. This is our transitional piece. So you're able here, depending on what you would like to do, You can do a child's pose instead. Let's bring the feet a little bit closer together. Take an inhale breath and lift that right leg. This is a three-legged dog. Keep the hips squared toward the front of your mat. Little bend in that right knee, bring that right foot in between your hands. Now, you don't have to interlace the hands here. That is yogi's choice, but we're gonna come up into that high lunge. So remember, ladies, it's a ladder flow. So we're gonna add on to this high lunge. Take an inhale breath here. On the exhale, we're gonna frame that right foot, and we're gonna add on a modified pyramid. So what we're gonna do is straighten that right leg, keeping that left heel elevated, coming into modified pyramid. Making sure that you can feel body weight into the ball of that left foot. Place a bend back into that right knee. Using our core center, we're gonna inhale, come up. Back into that crescent lunge. As you inhale here, exhale, frame that right foot. Take the right foot back to meet the left in plank. And this is where you can do the vinyasa, or you can go right to down dog. Lower down with control. And inhale, push up. Back bend of choice. As you exhale, downward facing dog. You ladies are looking awesome. Bring the feet a little bit closer. Inhale, lift that left leg, bending the knee. Bring that left foot in between the hands. Again, this is with or without interlacing, but we're gonna ultimately come up first into that high lunge. Take an inhale breath, exhale, frame that left foot, and then straighten out the left leg for that modified pyramid. Taking just a couple of breaths here, giving the body and the mind actually a little time to adjust. Put a bend back into that left knee and inhale, using the core center, come back to that high lunge. Inhale, frame that left foot, bring the right foot up to meet the left, to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, bring those hands back up overhead. Make that connection with the palms, hands to heart. Inhale, hands come back overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Walk back into your downward facing dog. And we're gonna add on to our flow one more piece of the ladder. Inhale, lift that right leg, bend the knee, bring that right foot in between the hands. Come into that high lunge. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, frame that right foot, and then straighten the right leg for your modified pyramid. Put that bend back into the right knee. Ground that left palm near the inside of the right foot. We're going to turn our chest to our right wall. And if you can, if it's available, we're going to lift up that right hand. Piece number 3 of our ladder. Really push into that left palm, ground down. That helps you to lift that palm higher. If you want to add a progression to this, take that right palm, place it to the small of your back, and open that chest just a little bit more to the right side. Only if that's available to you. Inhale, come out of that progression, lift up that right hand, frame the right foot, take the right foot back to meet the left, come into plank. Either go into down dog or lower down with control. Inhale, lift up, back bend of choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths here. Down dog is like where we regroup. Sometimes we lose connection with our breath or ourselves. And this is a great place in our practice to come back. Inhale, lift that left leg high. Bring the left foot in between the hands. Coming into your high lunge. Take that inhale breath. Exhale. Float those hands down and straighten the left leg. Come into that modified pyramid. Bring that bend back into the left knee. This time grounding that right palm into the inside of the left foot and lifting up that left hand. Only if that feels good to you. The progression is taking that left palm to the small of your back and just opening your chest just a little bit more to that left side.
I'm wobbly then.
Embrace those wobbles, girl. Lift that left hand up if you took that progression. Bring your left hand to frame the right foot and come up. Bring that right foot up to meet the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Bring those hands to heart. Take a moment just to breathe as we come out of that sequence. It's good also to take this moment in our lives. Oftentimes we move so fast during our day, we don't give ourselves a chance to pause. So we're gonna do a little bit of balance here. We wanna make sure that our feet are below our hips. And we're going to make sure that most of our weight is gonna be distributed into that left foot. So we're gonna just lift that right leg and come into a one-legged mountain pose. Now, the best way to do this is to find something that is non-moving. Find a focal point. We're gonna take our left hand and place it under that right kneecap. Never wanna put it on the knee joint. If you fall out of it, just come back and see me. And we're gonna take that right hand behind us, kind of like how we did in the beginning. And we're gonna take that gaze over our right shoulder. As much as you can.
Forget it now.
If you fall out of it, just like in life, when we fall out of something, we just come back. No shame, no embarrassment. We just come back even stronger. If you want to do the progression, what you can do here is you can let go of the right knee with the left hand and just simply open up. And then come back to center. Bring that right foot down, shake it out, and let's do the other side. Making sure that the body weight is concentrated mostly into that right foot. We're gonna start to lift the left leg. Flexing into your foot, your left foot helps you, to protect your knee joint. Take the right palm below that left knee joint, stretch that left hand out behind you, and take that gaze over that left shoulder. Remember to breathe. Sometimes we stop breathing during balance poses. Take that progression if you like, releasing that left knee. Come back to center. Bring that left leg down, shake it out, ladies. Take that inhale breath, hands come up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Walk the feet back, come into downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Or child's pose, whatever feels good. Lift that right leg, squaring the hips, and bring that right foot in between the hands. Turn your left foot at an angle, so it's not directly with all toes facing forward like we did before. Place your hands again on your hips. We just want to make sure that our hips are facing forward and come up into warrior one. Make sure you have a nice bend in that right knee, making sure that the knee is bent over the ankle. Take an inhale breath and lift those hands up high. Coming into warrior one. We're gonna turn our palms so they face the front of the room. We're just gonna opening up the heart center, maybe even drawing those elbows back so you can open up just a little bit deeper. Take an inhale breath and just lift those hands back overhead. So we're gonna take a transition from here from warrior one to warrior two. So we're gonna inhale first, and then as we exhale, we're gonna open up so that our hips are open to the left side of our room. We're keeping that right knee bent, and our gaze is over our right palm. So we're gonna do a little bit of a flow here. We're gonna inhale, straighten that right leg, bring the hands together. As we exhale, we're gonna open back up and come back into that warrior two. So it's just flowing from a triangle to a warrior two. So inhale, hands come up, right leg is straightened, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, triangle, exhale, warrior two. Feeling nice and strong in that right leg. Inhale again, exhale, back to warrior two. So we're gonna stay right here. Gonna place that left hand on our left thigh. Take an inhale breath, open up that right palm, and come into reverse warrior. If it feels good to your neck, you can gaze up at your right palm. Take a breath here, inhale, and come back to warrior two. We're gonna bend that right arm, and we're gonna bring our forearm, our right forearm down to our right thigh. Open the chest up first to your left wall and lift that left hand if that feels good to you. Coming into what's called side angle. Inhale, come back to warrior two. And then exhale, come to reverse warrior. Inhale back to your center. Bend that right arm and flow right into that side angle. So we're gonna do that a couple of times, cycle through, and then we're gonna hold the pose and dig a little bit deeper. So inhale, come to warrior two. Our exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, come back to warrior two. This is where we're going to add on or have some progressions. We're going to inhale, reverse that warrior. Make sure that we've got that nice bend in that right knee. Now you can stay here. Our progression is that we can take that left arm, we can wrap it around our waist and grab a hold of the inside of that right thigh, right there at the top. That just stretches you a little bit deeper bend in that right knee, just to get more benefit from this stretch. If you took that bind, release it at this time, come back to warrior two. Inhale first, bend that right arm, bring that forearm onto the right thigh. And open up, stretching that left hand overhead. Now our progression here, ladies, is we can take that right arm and we can open it up into the inside of the right leg. What we're doing here is it's kind of hands-free. We're letting our core do all the work. Now, if you want to add on even more, Take that left hand behind your back, reach that right hand under the right leg, and take a hold of the fingers of your left hand. We call this in yoga, rapper's delight. So, get your wrap on. Hold and breathe. Good job, ladies, you're looking good. If you took that bind like a courageous warrior that you are, release it, come back up to warrior two. So this is where we're gonna get into a little balance, something called half moon pose. But we're gonna take some progression, we're gonna take some first, we're gonna get into it, and then we'll take progressions if we feel like it. So we only do what our body says is right for us. So we're gonna reach that right hand down, and we're gonna reach it so that it's just a little bit in front of that right foot. We're gonna place our left palm on our left hip. We're gonna start to bring that weight into that right foot and come up on the tiptoes of that left foot. Now we can stay right here, ladies, for half moon. If you want to progress here, you start to spring into that right foot, lift up the left foot, flexing into that left foot, and opening the hips to the left side of your room. Another progression is to take that left hand and lift it up overhead. Breathe. If you fall out, come back. Put a little bend in that right knee, and using your core, bring that left foot back to the mat, come into warrior two. Good job, ladies. I see you shining. I see you shining. And bring those hands down to the mat, framing that right foot, come back into plank. Take an inhale breath, either coming on that exhale to down dog or lowering with control, taking that back bend and coming back to downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. And you know, since we're halfway through, let's do a lion's breath. It's a pranayama where you inhale through your nose and you exhale forcefully out of your mouth. It helps you to gain endurance. So we're gonna inhale in through the nose, exhale, blow it out. Inhale, draw that breath in through the nose. Exhale, release it out the mouth. Last time, inhaling in, taking maybe a few more sips of that breath. And a slow exhale, out the mouth. We're ready for the second side, ladies. Inhale, lift that left leg high and bring that left foot in between your hands. Turn the right foot at an angle. Place those hands on the hips just for better hip adjustment and start to lift up. And we just want to adjust the hips, make sure they're facing forward. Make sure we've got a nice bend in that left knee. When you're ready, lift those hands up. Face the palms toward the front of your room and just open up. Again, trying to bring those shoulder blades together. Opening up your beautiful heart center. Inhale, lift those hands up overhead. And then exhale, open up, coming into warrior two on our left side. So we're gonna do the same thing we did on the right. We're gonna go into that flow between triangle and warrior two. So we're gonna inhale, bring the hands overhead, straighten the left leg. Exhale, dig deep. Inhale, flow into triangle. Exhale, let it go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. And then exhale, coming back to warrior two. Bring the right palm to your right thigh. Flip open the left palm and reverse that warrior. Inhale, come back to our center. Bend the left arm this time. Bring that left forearm to the left thigh and come into your side angle. So we know where we're going, ladies. We're going to just flow with it. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, reverse that warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, back to warrior two, home base. Exhale, reverse. Last one, inhale, back to our warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Let's inhale back to that warrior two. Place that right palm to the right thigh and reverse that warrior. Now, just like we did on the other side, our progression, if it's available, we take that left arm behind, or excuse me, take that right hand behind the back, just to open up a little bit more. I'm directionally challenged, you guys. Sometimes I'll say right when I mean left and vice versa. Imperfect yogi. And go ahead, release, come back to warrior two. Bend that left arm, bring that left arm onto the forearm. Open up here. This is where you can open that left arm into the inside of the left leg. And we know that we can take that right hand behind our back. We can reach through the leg with our left hand, and we can engage in rapper's delight. Yogi's choice. Breathe into that. Go ahead, release the bind. If you took it, come back to warrior two. So this is where we're going to do half moon on the other side. Take an inhale breath and cascade that left hand just a little bit in front of the left foot. Bring the right hand onto your right hip and come up on the ball of that right foot, right on those tiptoes. Now we know we can stay here. This is half moon, guys. Or we can progress and kind of spring into that left foot and open up into half moon. Maybe taking that right arm up overhead, opening the hips this time to the right side of your room. A little bend in that left knee. Using our core, bring ourselves back to warrior two. Cascade those hands down to the mat. Bring your left foot back to meet the right. Come into plank. Either lower yourself down with control or go to down dog. Lift up into our back bend of choice. Curl those toes. Downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here just to reset. Bring those knees down to the mat. Open the knees wide. Let your big toes touch. Push the hips back for our child's pose. This is another way to reset. Allow your forearms to just rest on the mat. If you're able, let your forehead as well rest on the mat. If it's not, you can stack one hand on top of the other. Try to draw your hips as close to your heels as you comfortably can. And just breathe. Take in your practice. And just allow yourself to feel grateful for showing up for you, to do something for yourself, to enhance your mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. So in other words, just give yourself like a gratitude pat on the back. for all of your amazing work. Bring those hands on either side of your head, push back up into tabletop. And we're gonna take an inhale breath, curl those toes, come back to downward facing dog. We're gonna do a little stretching here before we take it onto our mat, onto our back. I want you to widen your feet so they're about mat width apart. We're gonna do a down dog twist stretch. I know that sounds like a lot. We're gonna take that right hand and we're gonna lift it up and bring it to our left leg. Now, depending on where that lands, it could be on the left shin or the left ankle. But once you find that spot, you're gonna take that gaze under the left armpit and just breathe. Release, bring the right hand back and lift the left hand and bring that over to the right, either to the shin or to your ankle, gazing under that right armpit. And then bring that left hand back to center. Bring the knees to the mat and come into first a seated position. And in that seated position, we're gonna go back to kind of where we started. This is to let you know how your body has changed during the course of your practice. So we're just gonna do what's called a forward fold, but seated. Take those hands overhead. Take an inhale breath, exhale, forward fold. Now this time we're not so much concentrating on the core as much as we are just trying to get a really good stretch. Take an inhale breath here. Draw that navel back toward the spine and hinge forward just a little bit deeper. Now in yoga, we always have progressions. So in other words, there's always ways where you can get even deeper. I'm going to teach you a way that you can get even deeper in this pose. Take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toe on both feet. Take an inhale breath and come forward, pulling those big toes towards you, and then letting your elbows point out to either side of the room. Relax those shoulders down. Let the top of your head point toward the front of your room. This is just only if you desire to get a little bit deeper. When you're ready, release. Come back into that upright position. And however it works for you, start to come onto your back. Take an inhale breath and just bring that right knee into your chest. Interlace your fingers below the right kneecap. Again, we don't want to ever put direct pressure on that right knee. Flex both the left and the right feet. Take an inhale breath here. As you exhale, draw that right knee just a little bit closer to your chest. Leave your left palm below that right kneecap. Stretch out your right arm. Your palm can be, the right palm can be flat or it can be open. We're going to take a breath first. And as we exhale, we're going to very gently draw that right knee over to the left side. Coming into what's called a spinal twist. You can keep your gaze at the ceiling, or you can simply just gaze over that right shoulder. Try to keep your shoulders as close to the mat as you can, as it is comfortable for you. Take an inhale breath, come back to that center, and then just straighten out that right leg. Let's take an inhale breath, interlace those hands and bring them below the left kneecap. Flexing into both feet, just protecting our knee joints. Take an inhale breath first. And then as we exhale, we're just gonna draw that left knee as close as we can to our body, as comfortable as we can draw it. Let the right palm remain under that left kneecap. Stretch out the left arm. Take an inhale breath first. And on that exhale, we're gonna draw the left knee over to the right, gazing over that left shoulder if it's available. Breathing into that side body. They say that the sides of our body, that's where all the respiration takes place. So we want to really open up those spaces. And come back to center. Let's bend that right knee, bring it up with the left. Squeeze those knees as close as you can to your chest. Maybe rock side to side. That's a way to get a very nice cheek back massage. It also feels really good after your practice. When you're ready, keeping your knees close to your chest, lift your shoulders off the mat, bring your face as close to your knees as you can, coming into just a nice little ball. Taking just a couple of breaths here. Maybe some of the deepest breaths that you've taken during your practice. Take one last deep breath here. And as you exhale, release the legs. Let everything go, ladies. Come into your final pose of Shavasana. Also referred to as corpse pose. Let everything go. Let your feet go over to either side. Allow your arms to just be a little bit a ways from your body. Let your shoulders sink into your mat. And just breathe. Release your practice. Release anything that you may have taken into your practice that no longer serves you. Maybe take your mind back to the intention that you set. Maybe reaffirm that intention. Giving it more energy, giving it more forcefulness. That you're going to take that intention and you're going to manifest whatever that is that you have in that intention. So we're going to start coming back into our body. We can do this gently by just starting to wiggle our toes, wiggling our fingers, maybe rotating our wrists in both directions, maybe rotating the ankles in both directions. And then bring your feet together, flex your toes toward the wall in front of you. Bring your hands overhead. And stretch and extend your fingertips. You've got this two-way stretch. It's a nice way to refresh your spine, bring that energy back into your body. Bend your knees, bring your feet flat to the mat and turn your knees over to whatever represents your favorite side. Allow yourself just to kind of rest in this fetal position just for a couple of breaths. Resting your head on your arm here. Taking those final breaths. Bring your palm, the free palm, to the floor and push yourself up into whatever represents a comfortable seated position for you. Sometimes my seated position after practice is a little bit different than the seated position that I started practice with. Bring your palms together at heart center. Again, offering that gratitude for your practice. offering that gratitude to yourself. That's just telling me that my time, that it's an hour. That's my timer. But just bring that focus back to yourself, back to the gratitude for doing something for your body. Allowing that intention that you set to manifest and come into fruition. I want to thank you ladies for joining me, allowing me to guide you in your yoga practice this morning. I don't take that lightly. I feel like it's my responsibility to make sure that you receive whatever it is that you came to this class to receive. Have a wonderful day. And with that, we seal our practice with namaste. Namaste, ladies. Awesome job. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
We did it. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Have an awesome day.
I will. You look so good, Pam. Oh my God, you look so good.
Thank you. I feel great. Tomorrow I'm going to be 56 years old. Oh, yeah.
Girl, I know I'm gonna hit that 5-0 in June. June's gonna be 5-0 for me, so I'm gonna join the
Girl,
club.
you're a baby.
I'm gonna be a baby in the club.
Yeah, you're gonna be in the 5-0 club, but you're still my baby sister.
Yes, you'll always be my sister. I love ya.
I love you. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. All right, girl.